So I'd like you to put your hands together for Mr. Justin Dunk.
Where are my ECP athletes at? Let me hear you! Let me hear you! From excited about football, let's go! I don't know if you guys know, but you are part of the golden era of football in this country. Did y'all know that? Do you know why I say that? There have never been more Canadians drafted or playing in the NFL. There have never been more Canadians playing at what we call, I guess, skill positions. Guys, you okay with me calling them that? Skill positions in the Canadian Football League. So you should be proud that you have come from all over Ontario to be here. I know there's a bunch of people from Guelph. We got people from Sault Ste. Marie, Ottawa, making the trip because you guys are so dedicated to this craft. I'm not going to swear. I'm pretty excited though. That's awesome. That is awesome. So I'm going to go over a little bit of the pro stuff. I've covered guys going to the CFL Combine, guys going to the NFL Combine. The one player that I think I want to focus on most with you guys is Tavius Robinson. Does everybody in here know that name? Who does he play for? Yell it out. That's right. And part of the reason that I want to talk about Tavius, not because we're in Guelph and he's played at the University of Guelph before he went to Ole Miss, but it's because of his path, okay? He was able to go from the University of Guelph to play in the SEC, which everyone knows is the best competition except for the NFL. But that guy was so humble that coming out of high school, all he wanted to do was play for his hometown. He did everything he could in his power to do that. So I want to echo a lot of the sentiments that University of Guelph head coach Mark Soria talked about when he was up here. Because ultimately, for you guys to reach your goals, and I'm assuming a lot of you in here, if you're here, you want to play in university and you want to go on potentially to a pro career, remember one thing that's said today, if you can remember anything, it takes what it takes, okay? Very simple. If we're talking about eating healthy, am I going to eat an apple or a bag of chips? Obvious, right? It takes what it takes. Very easy decisions that we can all make in our lives, and especially you guys, if you want to go to the pros. Because we're talking about the elite of the elite, the top 1%. Okay, you've had a lot of ability here to potentially be seen, to be coached by people who are at that next level and get that opportunity to be the next Tavius Robinson. There might only be a couple in this group, and it's going to be the people that go to that limit. So what Coach Soria was talking about in terms of developing relationships is very similar to what happens in the pros. And you guys might sit up here and say, well, what does this guy know about the pros? He never played in the pros. I'm around these guys all the time. And the guys that get the opportunity, they do what Coach Soria did, or what he was talking about, they create relationships with head coaches, with general managers, with their position coaches, offensive linemen, defensive linemen, quarterbacks. They create those relationships when they're in university. You go out and ask those types of questions about how you want to get better and get to the next level. So it's possible, it's out there. You guys can do this. We've seen it and I talked about it. You go look at the numbers and we had the articles up. I want all y'all to log on to 3downnation.com to give us a little boost, but also to educate yourselves. Because you can find out that there's so many different stories of players from Canada. I'll give you another example. Nathan Rourke. Does everybody know who Nathan Rourke is in here? Yes, hands up, hands up. Who knows Nathan Rourke? No, we got to get some education on Nathan Rourke. Nathan Rourke right now is a Canadian quarterback who is with who? Does anybody know? NFL team. That's right, with the New England Patriots. He started his high school career at Oakville Trinity, won a couple Osta Bowls, went down to Alabama as a high school star, won a couple state titles, still didn't even get a Division I offer. Wanted to get a Division I offer, so where did he go? Fort Scott Community College, a small community college. Team didn't do so well from a win-loss perspective, but Nathan Rourke did well enough to get one one NCAA Division I offer. Does anybody know that school where Nathan Rourke played in the NCAA Division I? Yes, my man, we got one Nathan Rourke fan in the house. Everybody should know his story, because you could be the next Nathan Rourke. Not everybody is going to be the elite of the elite. You got to go after this. He goes to Ohio, lights it up, but still doesn't get the opportunity as a quarterback in the NFL. The New York Giants have him out to a rookie mini camp, which is essentially just a way to give these guys some shorts and a little bit of pub and send them on their way as a receiver, okay? Fast forward, Nathan Rourke takes it upon himself. This goes back to what I was talking about. It takes what it takes to find a unique Canadian coach named Rob Williams. He makes a transition. He gets selected by the BC Lions in the second round of the CFL draft, sits behind a Hall of Famer in Michael Riley. Does anyone in here know who Michael Riley is? Okay, we've got a few hands. Really famous CFL quarterback. Uses that year behind Michael Riley to develop and learn the pro game, ask all the questions that you guys might have to ask when you're in that position, seeks out this coach, changes his completion percentage, goes from a sub 60% completion percentage passer to almost 80% in his first year as a CFL starter. Wins the most outstanding Canadian award in the CFL, and then guess what, fellas? He has nearly all of the NFL teams watching his tape as a quarterback. Do you remember what I said before when he was coming out of Ohio? There was only one team that had him in to look at him as what? A receiver. Part of that was because he was an athlete, but I think part of it was also because he was Canadian, okay? Now, he goes through a workout tour, goes to about 12 NFL teams, has 3 contract offers on the table that he narrows it down to, picks the Jacksonville Jaguars. They tell him that he's going to have an opportunity to compete for the backup quarterback job behind franchise quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Guess what? The GM, Trent Baalke, goes out that offseason, signs C.J. Beathard, the backup, to a multi-million-dollar deal. Rourke's not competing to be the backup anymore, but he never let that change his mindset. Again, it takes what it takes. He continued to work with his Canadian coach, Rob Williams. The Patriots saw his preseason film. Did everybody in here see Nathan Rourke's play in the preseason against Dallas? That was freaking unbelievable. Hands up. Did you see it? You guys got to go watch that play. Patrick Mahomes tweeted about this guy. Nathan Rourke is a great Canadian story that you guys need to know. So Rourke gets picked up by New England at the end of the season by none other than the most legendary, arguably, coach in the NFL, Bill Belichick. Impresses Belichick enough to be the backup quarterback for the Patriots in their last regular season game. What did Jacksonville tell him he was going to be able to compete for, but it didn't actually happen? Do you guys remember what I said? The backup job. What did he have by the end of the season? A backup job with a different team. Again, it goes back to it takes what it takes. Nathan Rourke does not drink, does not party. He is completely focused on being a quarterback in the NFL. There's obviously a time and a place for things, but he is so focused on proving all of the doubters about him wrong that he is literally zeroed in on that almost every minute. We won't say minute by minute because I don't want to be cliche, but almost every minute. You guys have that opportunity. From this day forward, I want you to understand what's in front of you. If you want to be a university player in Canada or the United States, go after it. It takes what it takes. Be different, put yourself out there. If somebody tells you no, show them why they're not going to want to compete against you on that university field if it's in Canada, America, or when you get to the pro level, okay? Create those relationships, make yourself stand out, and as weird as it might sound to say, if it's a pro coach, don't be afraid to approach them, even if you see them now. Go out and do those types of things to get to where you guys want to go, because ultimately, except for the super freaks like the Aaron Donalds of the world, there's a small difference between the rest of the players in the NFL and the CFL, and you need to make yourself stand out in that way when you get that opportunity. So listen to what Coach Soria said in terms of recruiting for university. Make yourself stand out. I'm not going to hold you anymore, but where my ECP Combine athletes at? Let's go!
What did we tell you? We're privileged. Thank you, Justin. Another hand for Justin, my hype man.